Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Legends of Arcadia Genesis. I'm pretty sure we know how to do this. It's only been like a month or two. I'm going to give Neal the opportunity to think for a minute because after this month-long break, we've learned that he owes us a recap worth 443 experience points in the level. So we're expecting some greatness. In the meantime, it has been forever since we all hang out. What has been new with all of you? What's new in your lives? What have you been up to?
My computer died like immediately after chit chat last week. It was just the power supply, so that wasn't too bad. I had like a day of panic while it was like waiting for the power supply to ship, going like, man, I really hope it's the power supply. It's gonna be a real pain in the ass if something else failed. But I was without my computer for a day, so I got the Final Fantasy VII remake and started playing that. And it's been fun.
Yeah,
I have a feeling I'll finish it and mention it to Greg, and Greg will have like an hour-long rant about how mad he was about something in it. But
I am on the record as I don't really enjoy the game. It is well made. It is a good game, and in a vacuum, it is fun. But it's not what I want from Final Fantasy VII. Right? It's just not for me.
So you're talking about the remake. So Final Fantasy VII is a good game, but Final Fantasy VII remake.
The remake is objectively a good video game.
They're in a vacuum.
Well, wait, really? They changed?
They're completely different. Yeah. So I actually went back and started playing the original because I got to like a little ways and I was like, okay, maybe I should actually play through 7 first. But
you never played 7?
Like, no, I never played 7. But it's like
youngin'.
I actually like just never I played on PlayStations when I grew up and I just never played a single Final Fantasy game.
And Sean plays some old ass games, so let me tell you, age does not matter for this man. Like, he's like, have you heard of this game? I was like, what the fuck, Sean? I look up, I'm like, Sean, it's from like 1990, you know? And he's like, yeah, it's great. I'm like, cool. Nice. I don't think time matters for Sean in that regard.
I was too busy in RuneScape to play Final Fantasy as a kid. But yeah, no, they're just very like the remake is like a third person action RPG kind of. It's reminds me a lot of 13 except less bad.
I mean, less bad is good, right?
Yeah.
Or better at least, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, enjoy your new power supply. Hopefully nothing else goes wrong. That would be terrifying. What about the other two of you here? Anything new in your lives? Anything worth reporting?
Ryan is feeding the baby. Well, I guess.
It's probably easier to talk while she's got a bottle in her mouth.
Well, then go in quickly.
I don't have much to say. This is it.
This is it. Dad life. # dad life, everyone. All right. Well, exciting. Faye, you got anything new going on, or have you just been worked to the bone?
Well, it's funny because I feel like every time I get asked how I'm doing, I'm like, yeah, I'm really excited for the time to come because I'm going to work less, and then it turns out I work twice as much than before. I've been away for 2 weeks in a different city. I got a hotel.
Were you on vacation?
No.
Oh, you were.
I was 2 weeks away for work. Mm-hmm. Yeah, on a business trip, and I stayed at a hotel there, and I like did 10-hour shifts every day. And I came back home yesterday night and I've slept for 11 hours. And then I played 4 hours of D&D this morning. And now I'm back for another 4 hours. And This is the best day I've had in the past, like ever since chit chat. This is the next best day. So I'm really excited to play.
Yeah.
What's your other campaign?
What? My other campaign?
Yeah.
Well, it is Isai, like the one I'm playing today was DM'd by Isai. You might have seen him around. He's like a very old member of this community. He hasn't been around in a while, but he's a cool dude. And it's a group I've been playing with for the past, I want to say like 6 or 7 years. And yeah, we all play on Roll20 always. And it's a really high level campaign by now. I think by now we're like level 14, all of us. So yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting.
Is it 2E?
No, it's actually a 5E campaign.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I used to play 2E on Sundays, and then, Yeah, we changed it.
Level 14.
Now you don't play TUI on Sundays anymore.
Well, half of the day I don't, half of the day I do. You know how it is, yeah.
Sweet.
All right. Well, Neal, I have given you all the time I can give.
Last time on Legends of Arcadia Genesis, there were these shadows. We were camping, and these shadows appeared. No man cast mirror image, as he always does, so that he cannot take an action in combat to be useful, and so the enemy can't hurt him in combat. It's a very effective move if you want to do literally nothing. Koibu cast Spark Shower, which really didn't do much either. And the battle went on. Eventually, the shadow was defeated, and we all went back to sleep. The next day, we were following Gurgi around, and we came across those snake ladies. They were supposed to be sexy snake ladies, but they were just mean snake ladies. Now, I know some people find some confusion in that, but they were mean. They were not fun. We fought them for a little while until there was like a moment where we thought we could like parlay with them. And
maybe they're not mean.
Yeah, and we're like, let's talk with them, and it didn't work out.
Maybe Rook's mean.
Why didn't it work out? Why
Rook's dog continued attacking. It's really the dog's fault that the things didn't go forward. But he's just a little puppy. He can't know the complexities of interspecies diplomacy. So dog ruined it all for us. And Koibu once again saved the day with some excellent spell casting and some good sword strikes. Killed all the snake ladies. I mean, didn't kill them all, but like was the most instrumental character clearly in defeating the snake ladies. Ren did cast a useful entangle. And then let's see, there was some good berries that continue to save our life like every single day. I cast reveal doors. It didn't really do very much. Then we found this path, and it was this like twisting, winding path with a mountain on one side and a cavern down below, and there's all these statues everywhere. And we thought Gorgon maybe, or a Medusa. I mean, it's a Medusa's lair, so it's probably the Medusa. It's probably not the Gorgon, but this bull thingy came out. And at first I thought it was a Gorgon, but it was actually like a Minotaur looking dude. And so while the rest of the party decided to like charge up the center against it, Koibu had the brilliant idea of like getting the high ground and flanking it to do an epic kick maneuver that would knock the Minotaur deep into the ground. But we live in the early days of the universe where the gods are cruel and petty, and they denied Koibu his kick flip that would have saved the whole day. And instead he, fractured his back temporarily. It's more like a sprain, and was out of combat. And some other party members, they managed to deal with the issue, even though Koibu couldn't help this time. They managed to pull through on their own for once. And here we are outside the lair. Koibu being badly injured, and Hugo also being badly injured, and everyone else totally fine. I think that's an accurate recap.
I enjoyed your recap thoroughly. Excellent. Well worth the time given to help you out.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, as Koibu so eloquently stated in his recap, we find the five of you on the cliffside leading up to the back door to the Medusa's lair, high in the mountains, in this kind of section of the forest. You have fought off a Minotaur. Hugo is unconscious but stable. Koibu with 1 HP and maybe a broken / sprained back. While
maybe he put something sharp through his foot.
Maybe he put something sharp through his foot.
Landed on that Minotaur horn, right? Just woof.
Yeah. It glued his boot right to the bottom of his foot. And you are, I don't know what you're doing. What is the plan, party?
I look at Rook and I say, Rook, what's the plan?
We're slaying a Medusa, right?
I mean, just the two of us? Hugo is knocked out cold.
Hey, I'm here too.
What, Gurgi, did you actually want to go and fight? I thought you were going to
No, this is Nick's character.
That's no one. Oh, jeez.
That's right. He's Morty.
Yeah.
I'm here too, Rick.
There we go. Okay, now I recognize it.
Koibu's still here?
Yeah, but I mean, look at him.
Excuse me?
Yeah, he's pretty useless.
Oh man, he's not looking.
HP. I mean, like on an entire arbitrary scale, I would say he's very short of just falling over unconscious again.
I still have one spell left. Hit point.
No, you don't, because you fell down, you were unconscious, and then you lost your spell. So I brought you back to 1 HP. So you're done with that spell. That's gone.
Well, I didn't hear anything about that on the recap. He definitely didn't fall unconscious.
I mean, it wasn't in the recap, so it didn't happen, right?
Okay, whatever you say,
All right.
dude.
So what are you proposing, Ren? Do we...
I think we have to
withdraw?
actually retreat. Yeah, I think we have to withdraw from here and then heal back up. I'm not confident that just the 2.5 of us are going to be able to slay the Medusa.
Can we? I inspect the Minotaur for wealth or loot or anything? Before?
You can indeed. The Minotaur himself is holding an oversized battle axe made for a large creature, polished with gleaming bronze, with runes inscribed in it of an elven script. The elven script, to anyone who can read it, relays the story of a precious gift to their squat second children. And you could imagine this probably stolen from them. The Minotaur is also holding a small pouch at his waist that contains 2 stone statues of miniature, both of them goats.
Anyone else hearing really weird music? Like it's fucked up?
I'm not hearing any music. Maybe
I don't hear anything.
Hearts. Oregon Trail is what I'm hearing.
Oh, there we go. Now I hear something.
But does it sound like broken? Weird.
No, sounds fine to me.
It's going normally now.
I must be deaf because I don't hear any music.
Might be a roll. Let me check. I think it's in roll 20. Yeah.
I heard nothing, and then I started hearing music afterwards. So.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt. It's just I'm getting it sounding super fucking weird.
Interesting.
Do you have?
No, it's fine. It's
roll
on my end.
Roll 20 is just gonna roll 20, I guess.
All right.
I think I'm deaf.
Turn up the volume and roll 20, Greg. You'll be fine.
Is there a volume slider in roll 20?
There
in
is.
the gear tab?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it's already maxed out.
You might be blocking audio in the tab. Is the only other thing I can think of.
All right, chilling. All right, sorry. I feel so useless. I can't hear the music. Anyway, you find 2 statues of miniature goats. They appear to be stone or ivory of some kind.
I guess I will pocket the mini goats and the axe was too heavy, but I feel like we should probably keep it. I don't know. I at least set it aside as I move to shove the Minotaur off the cliff.
You do so. His large bull body goes tumbling down into the kind of abyss below, the nice satisfying crunch.
How heavy is the axe?
How heavy is the axe? The axe is 15 pounds.
Holy shit. I can't carry this.
I mean...
Yeah. I mean, if you also want to drag people away
15,
from
actually,
here.
I'd only be lightly encumbered if I carry it, I suppose. I mean, I'll ditch it in battle, but I'll drag it around with us, I suppose.
Well, how are we getting Rook out of here?
You mean...
not Rook, sorry, Hugo. How are we getting Hugo out of here?
I guess we'll drag him a little ways back.
Have you guys ever seen the comedic drama play that they have in town sometimes called Weekend at Hugo's? We could just put him between us and then hold on to his arms and move him and make it look like he's with us. And then, we could use him to intimidate the enemy.
I'm not sure if today is I'm not sure if today is bad idea day on your part, but I think that's the second bad idea I've seen from you today. No offense, but I don't think that's what's happening.
Rook is
understood.
Rook is kicking the dirt around, attempting to conceal the signs of battle. I mean, obviously there's still going to be a mess, and the Minotaur lives here, but like, my thoughts are if the Medusa comes out to figure out what happened, she will be confused by the lack of Minotaur, and it won't be immediately obvious that we slew her guardian.
Okay.
So,
excellent. You kick some dirt on the
clearing up this front area.
I've got an idea. This one might be a bit crazy. What if we use this axe to chop off the Minotaur's head, and then we clean out the guts from it, and then someone wears the head over their head. Maybe Noman can do it because he's small enough that he could fit up that spinal cord, and then we could put Noman on someone's shoulders and wrap him in a big cloak, and we could walk in to the Medusa's lair with a fake Minotaur, and then use that as a way to get past minions and approach the Medusa.
Great idea. Why don't you jump down the cliff and retrieve the corpse? No, I'm covering up our tracks as best we can.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, you spend 10 minutes or so kicking dirt over them, trying to obfuscate the signs of battle as best you can. You listen intently for anything coming from this cave entrance, but nothing seems to be intent on coming out and discovering you as you do this.
And I guess let's drag Hugo out of here. He's got a shield, right? So we can place him on a shield and drag that. Place him on a shield, put the battle axe on top of him, and slowly drag our way downhill. How far up the mountain were we?
You found a secret switchback that took you a few hours to kind of climb up into the back here. So you're another couple of hours back down to the forest.
Maybe we can find. If we can find somewhere closer to camp, maybe if we can trudge our own path a couple hundred feet off of this switchback, if that's at all possible. Otherwise, maybe we're
probably not at this point where the cliff is, but if you backtrack some amount, I'm sure you could find a more shallow part of the mountain that Koibu was climbing earlier, or some kind of cave or something off the path. I'm sure is very reasonable for you to find. At least a place to rest.
Yeah.
Is Gurgi?
We're gonna need to set up. Oh yeah, where's Gurgi?
I'm here. I let you here.
Just one question. Do you know how far away the lair of the winged serpent is from here? The one the elves sacrificed to?
No. Don't go there very often. Nope.
I see. Okay. Things either way.
Things what?
I said thanks either way.
Okay. All right.
And I will follow Rook, I guess, wherever we set up camp.
You follow Rook and find your way deeper into the mountains where you begin to set up camp.
Deeper or back where we came from?
Well, you backtrack and then find some kind of deeper area and away from the switchback itself. You find yourself a nice little, valley in between some of the mountains where you have a little bit of eyes on the switchback through. A little bit of shelter maybe from the rain, some nice overhang from the rocks, and you set up a nice little camp to rest. How long are you set up to rest in the mountains here? I know that you kind of packed light as you made your way out here. Are you equipped to sit in the mountains and rest for a week? What is the party's supply looking like at this point?
I have a day and a half of rations on me.
I've got a day of rations. How far are we from the forest? It's like a couple hours down to the forest.
A couple of hours down the switchback to the forest.
Conceivably, I could head out into the forest and gather us food.
We could have had some nice beef if you hadn't kicked the Minotaur off the mountain.
It seems like borderline cannibalism.
That's true.
Gurgi never eat Minotaur. So tasty. Good munchings and crunchings.
I have 6 good berries left from yesterday. What do you mean?
It wouldn't be cannibalism for a half elf.
Okay,
I have 10 days
good
of
berries,
rations, by the way.
Okay. Good berries and Hugo's rations.
Okay.
I think we're fine up here.
Okay.
And then I don't think it's gonna be a week. I think it's gonna be like 2 days. Maybe
Okay.
3.
Sure.
I'm gonna prepare all healing spells for tomorrow, I guess.
Well, you are packed away in those mountains and are set up to give yourselves a nice little rest for as long as you need. I will see if anything happens along your time there. But while you do, tell me, what do you do as you hide yourself away in the mountains for a number of days?
Take it easy, man. A big fall.
Mm-hmm.
You just, lay supine, really easy, relax myself, hang out.
Rook attempts to hunt food. If we're close enough to like the tree line, I can also like gather survivalist stuff in the forest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm mainly looking after Hugo, and his wounds, and I think Ren is really concerned because Hugo is I think he's the youngest in the party. He's 18, I believe. So
who is?
Hugo. Yeah.
Sounds right. I am not great. Also, yes, I'm 18.
Yeah, so he's 18. He's 18 years old, and Ren is a little bit concerned because for her, she's someone who already lives a little bit longer, and 18 years is like really, really young. So for her, it's a little bit like having a bossy child around sometimes, I guess. Yeah. So she's taking care of him and worrying that everything's coming back to normal. And she's blaming herself a little bit for not speaking up in combat for whenever Koibu had the idea to climb that mountain and to tell him off about how terrible of an idea that was. So. Yeah.
What about What about facing a charging minotaur?
Well, the whole plan wasn't particularly, well thought out. But yeah, I guess you live and learn sometimes, or you die and learn.
Hugo, when you wake up with 1 HP a day or so later, what do you do as you're holed up in these mountains here? What does this retreat look like for you?
Probably lie on my back, mostly in pain, getting my wounds treated. I imagine I'm not able to do a whole lot, right? I wake up and I'm like, water. Probably just lots of bed rest.
Absolutely. Rook, you are hunting in the tree lines.
Yeah, so I think I've left 2 dogs on guard duty with the party, and I've probably got 1 with me on the hunt.
Okay. Yeah. You're following your dog. It is sniffing away, hunting some game. You're on the tracks of, we'll call it an elk or a caribou, some kind of big game. And so you have decided to go a little bit deeper into the forest this day as you are trying to make sure you get a nice kill and a good piece of game for the rest of the party. And you find yourself looking like kind of down at the tracks, following your dog. And as you look back up, you see the form of a small boy, a child, probably of elven descent. You see kind of like pointy ears, and it just kind of smiles at you as you look at it, and it giggles audibly and then like races off into the woods deeper. What do you make of this?
Rook tries to wave, and then
you're an adult male, stay away from the children.
The kid just runs.
Yeah, so you wave at it briefly and it giggles and then it races off into like deeper into the forest.
Rook will cautiously follow the kid and then look to see if it left footprints behind, and then maybe roll a saving throw to disbelieve illusion or something.
Okay.
Are there in fact
you follow up to try to see footprints, and sure enough, as a trained survivalist and tracker and ranger, you find that there are no footprints where this child was previously standing. You do this investigation, makes yourself quite certain that there are no footprints, and then once again you see kind of farther beyond the child like peeking out behind a tree, like
Rook narrows his eyes and shouts, "What are you? A tree spirit?"
And she like ducks behind the tree.
"What do you want?" Rook shouts, cautiously taking a few steps forward, but he doesn't like pursue. He just like steps forward to like try and shout, communicate with the creature.
But you can't tag me. And then races off behind another tree.
Rook knows better than to mess with fey creatures. He's ranged on the border of the elf wood for most of his life, and he backs away cautiously and maybe gives up on this game trail if it would take him too close to this this fey nonsense, and goes off in search of something else to hunt, or maybe goes a different direction and looks for some berries to gather or something else to do with the day.
Okay, absolutely.
Not messing with elves.
Sure. You leave this strange small elven child to their devices, leaving this part of the forest and making your way through for a different hunt. Go ahead and give me a skill check just on your hunting or gathering. Are you attempting to hunt, or are you attempting to gather, I suppose, is the better question.
They're pretty similar. There's one difference of one between the skill checks. Narratively, it sounded like maybe I was on a trail, but I gave up the hunting to stay away from the elves' territory or whatever this was.
Sounds good.
So I pass a survival check, and I think I'm successfully able to gather enough food for some number of people or something like that.
Not only beyond whatever your ranger ability gives you, or your woodlands ability gives you. You
proficiency, but
you find yourself like almost near stumbling into like a robust garden almost in the middle of the forest here. There are berries and fruits and like nut-bearing trees aplenty. You could harvest for a number of days worth of
garden.
Food. Yeah, it seems overgrown, but it is very clearly a large number of plants that are not necessarily native to the forest. They're fruit bearing.
Does overgrown mean that it's been tended and abandoned, or?
It doesn't seem to have been tended in any like recent period of time. The plants grow kind of wild. There are weeds and like brush and undergrowth that has mixed in amongst it. But to your eyes, it is pretty clear to you that this area is kind of not unique, or is unique to the forest. Is not native kind of plants that have found their way in this area.
So I don't want to steal food from an elf's garden, but it sounds like maybe this was at one point like an elven what do you call it, village, or I don't know, elven territory that has been abandoned, maybe, given like maybe the snake people expanded and the Medusa moved in here, and so the elves departed. Does that seem consistent? Does this look like?
Seems like a pretty fair guess. Yeah.
So in that case, I think I will gather from it.
Okay. Yeah.
After
you can fill your bags, your pouches, your arms with about as much as you can carry.
Yeah.
All kinds of fruits and veggies and nuts and whatever else you could manage.
Done. All right, I will do that and then go climb up the mountain, turning to the party around sundown and reporting my findings to Ren. I was on the trail of first I unload all the stuff. I found an abandoned garden, overgrown. Looks like it was once an elves plot that has since gone wild, overgrown with weeds, but there's still bountiful harvest. I can hike us down there and we can take as much food as we need.
That sounds like a wonderful place.
I bet it once
Hugo
was.
down there?
Move to camp. He looks like he'll be moving in another day. We could relocate camp.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we could even find an old hut or a cave nearby or something. If there's a garden, then there's a good chance that they also stayed somewhere.
Yeah.
We just need a tool shed.
True.
I also saw a small fey boy while I was hunting. He beckoned to me to follow, but I steered clear of his woods.
It's always difficult to tell with them. They're such curious people.
Oh, in any case, so it sounds like we will rest another night and then maybe relocate to that elven garden.
Yes, I think I could also already. So if it's the day where Hugo wakes up, I could already use the healing spells that I've prepared for the day, right?
So you have some healing spells to distribute?
I think healing would have worked right away anyways, because I wasn't in the negatives.
Oh, I'm actually not sure. Is it as soon as you're unconscious, or do you have to be in the negatives for it to heal?
Negative. 0 is like special.
Yeah. 0 is special. Yeah. I think the next day he's going to wake up with like 1 HP.
Right. I mean, I didn't even have any left anyways, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to roll 4 cure light wounds. Okay.
Perfect.
I don't know what your guys' HP is right now, so I'm just going to give each of you.
Koibu and I are both on 1, and I think everyone else
You're
is
both
fine.
both getting 2 dice. First 2 are for Hugo, second 2 are for Koibu then.
Okay. I think these are initiative rolls.
They are, but they would have been great. I actually can't roll it like this. I'm sorry. Hold up.
Just roll some d8s.
Hold your breath. 2d8. So first 2 for Hugo, I said, right?
Mm-hmm.
And oh my. Whoa. Oh my god. Not great.
This is what happens when we take a month off.
It's not great, but it's healing. You know. You're welcome.
14 points of healing ought to like get people back up on their feet, to be honest. I don't think you have a whole lot more than that HP.
Yeah.
All right. So that's going to put you at like 9 and 7 apiece after the end of day 2. And Rook comes back and tells you all about this ghost child and has brought food. Are we hanging out for more days, or we pushing on?
I guess we're good to. How many hours away was this little garden?
You probably spent a decent time ranging through the forest. Probably a couple of hours at least from where you were at.
Party, maybe they're looking healthy enough to travel if we want to go.
Yeah,
tonight.
No, I think with the healing, I'd be healthy enough to travel.
Okay. So probably shortly after dark, we make our way back to the garden, and I hope we can find it. Not some kind of illusion, and we're like wandering in the night through the woods, unable to find the magic elf garden.
Absolutely. Pack up, get ready to make your way down the mountain switchback in the dark. Do you have torches or other means of lighting your path?
I think we do. It's probably not quite. It's probably like twilight.
Okay.
So, let's see. I have fire building. Do I have? I have 4 torches.
Excellent. Then you light your way. It is a dangerous task moving through the mountains in the dark, but with a full-fledged ranger and a pitiable Gurgi with some light, you make your way down and into the forest proper. As the twilight outside kind of helps light the path in the mountains, it does very little for you in the depths of the forest. The canopy blocking out whatever light was left from the day. You follow these torches. is attempting to retrace your steps back to this old garden that you found. Eventually, you do. It takes a good couple of hours and maybe some backtracking to retrace your steps as the kind of creeping dark of the wood underneath the canopy of the trees just kind of changes the way you perceive the forest. But eventually, your torchlight reveals this kind of overgrown garden that you had found before, filled with non-native plants growing fruits and vegetables, seed-bearing bushes and trees, overgrown with the weeds and traditional underbrush intertwined with the vines of the forest. Nothing looks particularly well tended to, though the fruits and things growing here still grow and bear fruit.
I would like to cast a detect magic on the garden.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a day, so I've been able to relearn spells.
Absolutely.
So I grind some dust. I line it up using my knife. I quickly snort it through my nose and then gaze across the garden with all of the brilliance and see what's what.
All right, you snort in a big hit of dust and you look across the garden with your crystal eyes. And sure enough, right in the center of the garden, emanating from some, 5 or so inches of soil, you see a medium magical aura of nature magic.
That right there, guys. There's a whole bunch of nature magic. Right there. It's right there. Can you guys see it? Can you see? I can see it. It's like sort of green and yellow. It's like right there. It's just kind of medium in size.
Yeah, I will walk forwards as well next to Rick.
Random tangent before I forget. Is the large axe or are the miniature goats magical?
Koibu looks at the large axe. It is not magical.
No, it's just normal axe. It's just really big.
The miniature goats do have a transfigurative magical aura.
Of course they're magical, dude. Look, they're mini goats. Mini goats just don't show up. Those are called baby goats. Those are called kids. These are miniature goats. Of course they're fucking magical. No? I don't know why I didn't see it earlier. You didn't even need magic to notice that.
All right. Rook approaches the center of the garden, torch in one hand, enormous axe draped over his other shoulder.
I think if I just change the orientation of the goats, they'll get bigger because it's transfiguration. So I'm just gonna keep transfiguring these goats until they get bigger over here.
Here, catch. Rook throws the two goat minis in the dark off to the side of the garden to distract Koibu.
I scamper after them and try and pick them up and turn them over until they get in the right position to return to normal size.
Koibu sits Indian legs, just touching the goats to each other in different formations.
One of these is gonna work, I swear.
Excellent. Koibu occupies himself.
I thought it would occupy him
goats
for a few minutes having to go digging through the weeds to find them, but I guess he can see their magic auras, so he finds them immediately and then proceeds to spend 15 minutes playing with them.
Yeah, until I go blind at the end of the spell duration.
Oh, no. Aww.
All right. So Koibu is playing with his goats in the corner. Rook has stepped to the center of this otherwise dark garden, knowing that the magic is beneath him. What do you do?
Yeah, I wanted to give Ren and Hugo a chance to declare actions before, I don't know.
I'll hold back here. I don't think nature magic is really Hugo's forte. I've got a wizard, a druid, and a ranger who can all take care of that. I'll just I'll be on lookout.
Yeah, I will carefully approach with Hugo, and I'll gently hold back the torch to make sure he doesn't accidentally burn anything that is happening. Yeah.
What's in the center? Is there anything, or is it just
No, the very center of the garden is just a kind of empty space. There are no weeds or vines or undergrowth that has overgrown this area, nor is there any non-native plants growing here.
Is it bare dirt?
There's bare dirt.
What do the dogs do? Are they intrigued by this spot? Are they like
I think the dogs
furiously, or do they not notice anything?
No, I don't think the dogs have much of a reaction to this place at all. Your dogs are acting much like they're just standing in a normal forest, right? Maybe one of them's peeing on a tree over by Koibu or something. But
one of them's growling intently at Hugo.
Yeah, one of them is still pissed at Hugo. They don't seem to even realize that they're somewhere other than a normal old forest.
I would like to try to touch the soil there in that spot. Mm-hmm. Does it feel like perfectly normal cold dirt to me?
Sure does. Yep. Okay. You get a nice handful of soil.
I'm gonna start digging a little bit.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Rook holds the torch for Ren, who doesn't need it because she has improvision.
You find the soil to be loose and easily dug through. It takes just a matter of minutes to dig it up the depth that Koibu could see through. And soon you reveal a small little pit that had been previously dug out and covered over. And underneath the pit is a single acorn.
A magic acorn? Why didn't it grow into an oak tree?
Maybe it used to be an oak tree. Maybe the paw of a really old tree has been transformed back into an acorn and then planted elsewhere. And I take out my tiny walnut that I have around my neck and I say, in nature there's great power that can sometimes be transformed back into things that we can use for greater magics. It's difficult to explain, really, but you gotta believe me. I think this is similar to what I'm wearing around my neck.
We should probably leave it, right? Unless we wish to start our own magic garden.
I would like to not pick it up, but place my hand on the acorn.
You place your hand on the acorn. It is frightfully cold to the touch, like almost burns your hand as you touch it.
Mm-hmm. Have I ever seen any or heard of anything like this? Is this,
I'm not sure you have.
Is it an elven thing to grow gardens like that, or,
This does remind you of an elven garden of some kind. You would have seen fey, plants and strange oddities grown magically in forests to help sustain an outpost. Perhaps this once was one before somebody moved on. Maybe as Rook predicted, the forest grew around them, or the Medusa moved in. Maybe it was abandoned for some other reason. Maybe it wasn't elven at all, but I don't think this is beyond your purview. But I don't know if you know specifically of freezing cold acorns in the ground.
It really worries me that they left this behind. If you were to move on to a different place and you're not in a hurry, you wouldn't just leave a treasure like this behind, right? You would pick it up, and wherever you would move next, you would plant another garden with it.
Maybe they were killed, turned to stone.
Coming back from the goats, which are still small, I assume, Koibu will say, well, elves are long-lived creatures. They may leave it here and come back in 100 years waiting for something to change. They work on a different time scale than we do. This might have been abandoned, or this might be part of a long plan whose scope is greater than that of our lives.
I'll just quietly look as Koibu is elves-plaining to me how the elves work, I won't say anything because I'm a very gracious person, but in my head I'm just like...
of the social faux pas go right over Rook's head as he looks around and contradicts. No, this garden was once tended and planned, but it was abandoned. Gone to the weeds. I don't think they intended to leave it as such.
Greg, we still haven't found any signs of a home, right? Where somebody would have
is there a little garden shed or anything around, or even the remains of? I guess it's pretty dark. Maybe
you look around in the darkness of the forest, but in the lights of your torches, you don't see any homes or sheds or signs of habitation.
Let's I think we'll set up a camp for the night. Maybe not immediately near the acorn, and get some rest.
You begin setting up a little bit of camp for the night to get some rest. Hugo, how attentive are you to all of these going on as you were watching the investigation of the acorn and now the setting up of camp? You've just been injured and you're trekking through this dark forest. What's this like for you?
I mean, I think most of the garden was a bit of a haze. I don't think Hugo has much understanding of this kind of stuff, and he's just kind of listening to a bunch of people talk about theories that none of them actually believe, and he kind of spaces out for that. When it comes to like camping at night, though, I think that's like finally something I can actually do, and he's probably reasonably attentive during his watch.
You're reasonably attentive. You're setting up camp. You're finally, I can do something. I think you get absorbed in your work for a brief period of time. Like you're setting up some tent or like cutting down some like branches for some shelter from the wind or whatever it is that you're doing. And you feel a light tap on the back of your shoulder, and then you hear a small giggle. You're it.
Rook mentioned this, right? Has everyone already gone to sleep, or are we just setting up camp right now?
I think everybody is busy doing camp things, and you're just doing whatever part of your
He's doing security guard things.
you're doing
the perimeter.
Yeah, you're doing whatever part of like your character's role in the camp prep is.
He's eating donuts.
Eating donuts. Yeah.
All right, I drop the Krispy Kreme and I say, hello there.
Hi. You turn around, you see a small elven boy standing like right next to you. It kind of puts its hands over its mouth and giggles again. You're it! And then it runs off. Hides behind a tree.
I kind of like look over and I'm watching the tree, like not making any move to chase after, like very clearly not playing the game of tag. After a couple seconds, say, so what's your name?
It peeks around the tree. I'm Gwen.
Gwen? Which one?
Gwen.
What are you doing out here?
I was playing, but you're not very fun. Neither is the other one.
There was an elven grove here once, but this place was long abandoned. Why are you out here alone?
It's my garden.
It's your garden. Did you plant that acorn?
Mom did.
Where's she?
I don't know. I'm lost. So I was playing.
What? Maybe we can help. Why don't you come to camp? I have somebody who might be a friend to you.
The one with the dog isn't very fun. Do you have another friend?
No, he's quite the dour individual. There's someone else though.
Yay! The
no mom
little elf
spends the rest of the session playing with the little elf.
And that's how we write Nick out.
No, I'll show the elf over to Ren and introduce him as Quinn.
That's
him. That's the tree spirit.
I figured as much. Apparently this is his garden.
Oh shit.
So wait, is it a little elf boy? Is that what it is?
It's
Rook looks nervously to Ren, expecting to get reprimanded.
I will point at the little boy's chest and I'll say, what is that?
my chest?
Yeah, and I'll just like whoop against his nose as he looks down. I'll say, Megovanen, little one. We didn't expect any visitors around here.
I didn't expect any either.
Well, as I touched him, did it feel normal?
No. It felt very cold.
Right. Say, you've been around here for a long time waiting for company, haven't you?
I'm lost. Do you know where Mom and Dad are, actually? That'd be great if I could, like, go home and sleep. Have a nice meal.
I understand. You lost them, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where you lost them? Maybe we can find them together.
I woke up, but they weren't there.
I see. What is the last thing you remember before waking up?
I was playing. Hide and seek.
Who are you playing with?
I'm very good at hide and seek.
Oh, I bet you are. But you play hide and seek with other people. Did you play with your parents, or who were you playing with?
I think so. I don't remember.
Right. Do you have a favorite spot, like a favorite hiding spot? Because usually if you play hide and seek, there's one spot that is really, really good, isn't it?
It's the secret. There's no spot. You move.
Oh, you're a sneaky one. So you're really quiet when you're walking. Ah, I see. You know who else is really sneaky? And I point over at Rook. I say he's very quiet too. He's really good at hide and seek.
But he doesn't fight.
In the
Rook gives
corner?
him a smirk and says,
And
says,
over
you
on
know,
the... Sorry, go.
what's Krob doing off to the side?
I'm casting Detect Magic on the child.
Snorting
Are you
more.
snorting again?
Yeah, I have to. That's how. It's either that or sprinkle the dust over the kid, and that's a little obvious, you know. So
Rook says to the kid, you know, sometimes it's easier to hide sitting still than it is moving. And with a flourish, Rook pops his hood on his cloak of elvenkind and disappears in plain sight.
Ooh.
I told you he's good.
He is good.
he
starts looking. The kid starts like wandering around in circles around the camp now, like looking behind trees and in bushes, like trying to find Rook.
Yeah, Rook will do his best. Maybe like a 30% chance to like move silently in natural settings and then like, jump back. And then if the kid notices him, that's fine. And then he goes boo and pops out from under.
I think that you are playing into this kid's game and are perfectly capable of jumping out and, spooking him.
You mean this ghost? I spook the ghost.
You spook the ghost. The kid claps and laughs and enjoys the play with you very much.
How magical is this child?
That is a good question. So Rook has probably correctly identified the situation. Remind me, does Detect Magic actually ping on ghosts?
That is up to you.
I think that yes, the kid is faintly magical. There's some aura of magic about this kid.
Necromancy.
I observe the moving, see if the magic is like floating behind him, if it's just attached to him, if there's like another location, see if the magic signature from the person matches the magic signature of the buried acorn, like maybe they're related.
It does not. The buried acorn has a different magical signature than the kid. The acorn is like clearly some kind of nature magic. The kid himself probably has no school of magic. Like you're looking at this kid and like it's not like you see necromantic magic.
Raw
it's just
magic
like
or something.
There's raw magic, like kind of in a faint aura around him.
Does it? I don't know if I can tell, but does the magic look old? Is there a way to like detect the age of it?
How would you go about doing, like, what would an old magic look like to you?
I think you'd have to know how strong it was to begin with.
Yeah.
Is there like a magic equivalent of like carbon dating? Can you like see how much of one type of magic versus another type of magic there are, and based on the ratio, you can guess how much the aura has decayed over time?
Yeah, or maybe the older magic just has like almost like clothing fashion over the years. Like the magic doesn't match any magic that would be used today. It has like a different signature
I like
to
that.
it.
It's like the Birkenstocks of magic on.
Those are
those or like this is Art Nouveau magic over here.
I have Birkenstocks. Thank you very much.
I'm very fashion forward.
Or maybe it could also be like that. It's like a tree or like an onion, and it's layered. So the more layers it has, the older the magic is. If you look at the aura, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a possibility.
I think I think as you observe this, I want some kind of skill check associated with learning this. You
Absolutely.
are a wizard. What are you
have any skills because he spent all his character points getting that stupid longsword.
If you aren't trained in anything that you think would assist in this, then let's have a unproficient intelligence check.
Right. So D20 plus half my int.
Yes.
1D20 plus 7.5.
You stare at this and attempt to deign some kind of age of this magic, but
you'll have to cut him open to count the rings.
I brandish my long sword and walk towards the kid.
We're not cutting open the child, okay?
It's not.
I have a more mundane question that I'd like to look out for as I'm playing around in the garden. I would like to locate the oldest volunteer plant. So if there's like a sapling or a tree, like a pine tree that's popped up in this garden that's not supposed to be here, what's the oldest weed, right? Like, is there a bush that's like 5 years old that's popped up in the middle of the garden, or is there a tree that's like 30 years old in the middle of the garden?
Well, you look around, and as you're playing, you're keeping a sharp eye out. According to the die roll, the oldest thing in the garden that is volunteer, as you put it, is 47 years old.
Okay. So that means there's probably like a full-on like a good-sized tree somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
several trees interspersed throughout the garden. Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
And to get 47 on the nose, I had to chop it down with the axe and count.
Absolutely, yeah. Koibu brandished his longsword, and you like whisked the child away, and he chopped down the tree and counted the rings. Yeah.
At some point, I will share that with the party, but it seems like an awkward moment to stop now. But
absolutely.
Does the kid ever calm down, or is he just like we would want to bed down for the night, and he's just like supernaturally childlike on until 4 a.m. or something?
Exactly. He's like eternally jubilant. It's like he just downed like 5 Red Bulls, and he's ready to play all night. Yeah.
I will try to set him up with a dog. Be like, here, play with this, play with the puppies tonight. We've got to get some rest.
I think he is more than happy to play with the puppies. He will chase the dogs around the camp, and
maybe the dogs can take shifts. Like 1 or 2 will be napping, while 1 or 2 are playing, and the 4 of them can. Maybe we have trouble sleeping because there's like the.
I think you lay down to sleep for a while, and then you hear the dog like rushing around. But yes. You can set the kid up with the dogs for the night, and he's very, very happy to play with them.
All right. Once they're distracted, I will say to the party, like, those trees over there are almost 5 decades old. I think this garden has been abandoned to overgrow for about that time.
While I find this child fascinating and the spirit I would very much like to lay to rest, we are out here for another purpose. Maybe we should circle around to this another time and not lose sight of our main goal.
Which is what? To make peace with the snake woman?
I mean, make pieces of the snake woman?
I'll say I would like to at least give it tomorrow and try it. If this child has been around for 50 years, then it's been waiting for long enough.
Well, I will take a spell in the morning that may help us put this child to rest then.
Fireball.
Oh. You are bad people.
All right. You have a restful night out in the woods, despite the rushing of the dogs and the playing of the child and the kind of mirthful laughter. You find yourselves easily able to fall asleep, and you wake up the next morning ready to tackle the day. While we figure out what that's going to be for the party, why don't we take our first break? I think we've been playing for a little bit over an hour, and this is a perfect time.
We will see you guys on the other side. Bye.
Alrighty.